Love lives here.
We have been working here at Centers for Spiritual Living worldwide. This year we are working with the theme of living everyday wonder. And this month, and each month, we have been looking at a different aspect of our lives, yes? We've been looking at different aspects of our lives and how we would apply this everyday wonder that Spirit is, this everyday wonder that is within you, this everyday wonder that is everywhere, expressing always, how we can look at this and how we can apply it and live it from a practical place in our lives and really apply and practice the principles and the tools that we have available to us. And so we've gone through the year looking at different aspects of our lives. Last week and last month, we looked at the area of our work life. Before that, it was nature and relationships and the physical body and our emotional body and our inner life and our creativity and our play. We've looked at all of these things this year. This month, we're focused on our financial life. This is where we learn to apply or we practice these principles and we practice the tools as they show up in our financial life. Because finances are part of life, yes? Money is just energy, right? Money is nothing more than energy. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just energy. And what do we know? There's only one life, one power, one presence, so therefore there's only one energy. There's only one love. There's only one infinite eternal. So money is just a form of energy that we use to exchange energy with, right? It's like sharing love, sharing energy, sharing life, sharing peace, right? It's just another form of energy. That's all it is. So it's not scary to talk about. It's not taboo, right? But what we want to do this morning is we want to get behind everything and get to the larger principles at work. Sound good this morning? Yes. So we have swimming in the infinite ocean. What does that have to do with anything, right? We're not a beach community. We're not going surfing this afternoon, so what does that have to do with anything? Well, if you think of Dory, right, the fish, or any fish in the ocean, right? The fish are born in the ocean, right? The fish are born in the ocean, they live in the ocean, they can explore in the ocean, they know how to navigate in the ocean, and they don't even know that they're in the ocean. They're not even aware that they're in the water, they're just living their happy little fish life, right? And the water, the ocean, supplies everything that they need for life. Everything that they need to sustain themselves, everything they need to live, the right temperature, the right food, the right water conditions, the right amount of oxygen in the water, everything that they need is already supplied for them in the ocean, right? The currents, the waves. And so they can align themselves with the current and go for a little ride or they can go swimming and explore other areas because they're working with the currents of the ocean. They're working with the sea. They're working with it, right? They're not working against it. They're working with it. And they're constantly being supplied. Do you say this is true about fish? Yes. Ocean fish. Okay. So then why do you think it's not true about you too? We are born into an infinite supply. We are born into this spirit stuff, this God substance. If spirit, God, the universe, whatever you choose to call it, the higher power, is all that there is, it's the one, the only, it's the totality, it's all that there is, then each one of us is born into that. And not only are we born into that, each one of us is made from that same God substance, that same God stuff that created all of the stars, all of the grains of sand on the beach, all of the galaxies, every blade of grass. Each one of us is made not only in the image and likeness of the one life, but each one of us is that one life in glorious, full, magnificent, opulent, abundant expression. And so this one life maintains and sustains us always and in all ways, just as the ocean maintains and sustains the fish. But what we also know is that the ocean is also a divine expression of the one life, and each fish is a divine expression of the one life, that we are inseparable from it, that we are all interdependent, yet we are all individualizations of the one. Basic 101, right? So, Spirit, the universe, is forever and ever expanding. It is forever and ever showing up and demonstrating and expressing itself in a multitude of infinite ways with infinite potentiality that is energy, if you want to call it energy. And energy just changes form, but it's always energy. It's always that energy. It's always that God stuff, that God substance, that creative substance. And because that is the microcosm, then we are the microcosm. We are the microcosm of that larger macrocosm. So that we, as individualized expressions of life, as individualized expressions of spirit, also have the same ability or capabilities to co-create, to work with this one life, to have and to express more life, more joy, more peace, more love, more abundance, more prosperity, more. That we too are forever and ever expanding, especially if we eat a whole pizza. Or half of one. So we too are forever and ever expanding. But where I think we go wrong, where I think we can kind of go wrong, unlike the fish, is that we can forget or we can develop a false belief that somehow we are separate from our oneness, that somehow we are separate from one another, that somehow we are separate from all of life, that somehow there is me and something outside of myself, me and that there is an other that is operating opposed to the one life, opposed to God, opposed to spirit, that there is something else that is operating. And it's simply not true, because if there was only one in the beginning, there can only ever be one. That's all there ever is. And so that which spirit did not create was never ever created, right? So spirit has to be all that there is. Otherwise, it doesn't exist. So if we look at the tree behind me, the big, beautiful tree behind me, notice all of the leaves. Notice the abundance of leaves. How many leaves there are on that tree. You could probably count them, maybe, if you had a lot of time on your hands and the desire to do that. You could probably count them. And in about another month or two, the tree is going to shed all those leaves, right? And then next spring, there's going to be all new leaves on the tree. And then the cycle continues. So there's a difference between abundance and prosperity. Abundance is first cause. Abundance is that energy, it's that spirit, it is love, it is joy, it is peace, it is that spirit of life that is forever and ever expanding. That is abundance. So abundance is source. Abundance is supply. Abundance is sustenance. Abundance maintains and sustains. Abundance is forever and ever giving of itself, withholding nothing. Abundance is present. Okay? Prosperity is the demonstration or the manifestation or the effect of or the form of abundance that abundance takes. So if we look back at the tree here, right? The life of the tree, the life inside the tree, would be equivalent to the abundance. It is forever giving. It is forever doing what it's supposed to do. It is forever providing. It's forever growing and expanding. It is forever. It is eternal. The life of the tree, the life itself, is eternal, and that is forever giving and giving and giving. The prosperity of the tree are all the leaves on the tree. Or, that's not a fruit-bearing tree, but if it were, the fruit of the tree, right? And so we reap the benefits of the shade, we reap the benefits of the fruit, and the tree continues to do what it does because it has this infinite supply of abundance that we reap the prosperity of. Does that make sense? So abundance must always precede prosperity. Let me say that again. Abundance must always precede the prosperity. Make sense? Because spirit, the high idea of spirit precedes form. The idea precedes form. The infinite intelligence, the love intelligence precedes creation. Because it is that infinite intelligence, it is that consciousness, the consciousness of being, that then, in quantum physics idea, that there's the waves, the waves of consciousness, that then form and drop into, when the wave collapses, drop into form, drop into particle. And so physics, energy exists both as particles and waves at the same time. Right? But it drops into the particle, it drops into the form. And so we, beloveds, co-create with this. And so it is by what we bring our attention and intention to is what expands. Because we know that the universe is forever and ever expanding. So are we paying attention to abundance? Are we paying attention to cause? Paying attention and intention to cause? Or do we get in the habit of paying attention and intention into prosperity? Or even more, do we get into the habit of paying attention and intention to our belief in duality, to our belief in otherness, to our belief in separation, and we then begin to pay attention to what we call lack or limitation? Because as I've shared with you before, what we bring our intention and attention on expands, right? That's the way the universe law, the law of expansion. And we tried it a little bit earlier, right? With creativity a little bit earlier this year, I asked you to look for yellow cars, right? We planted that idea of, or we shared that idea of like, okay, this week I want you to focus on looking for yellow cars. And the next week you came back, it's like, oh my gosh, there are so many yellow cars on the road. Like Allison's shirt. There are so many yellow cars on the road because now all of a sudden your focused attention, your awareness was on looking for yellow cars. Well, guess what, beloveds? They were always there before. You just weren't noticing the yellow cars because you weren't paying attention and looking for the yellow cars. You weren't setting your intention and attention to look for yellow cars. Right? The abundance of life is always there. It's what we set our intention and attention on that's magnified. So if we are constantly looking for lack, we're constantly looking for limitation, we're constantly looking for those things, the universe doesn't care what you're saying yes to. You're saying yes to that, so guess what the universe does? Provides more lack, provides more limitation, provides you less than. Right? To him that hath, more is given. To him that hath not, even that is taken away, because the focus is on the lack. The focus is on the limitation. The focus is on the less than, the not enoughness. And so then that's what we become this amplifier for, this conduit for, this like beacon for, yeah, show me more if not enough. No, I didn't want that. So no, show me more if not enough. right? And the universe just supplies because the universe expands. Whereas if we look at it as, I want to experience more love. Let's experience more peace. Let's experience more joy. Let's experience more prosperity, right? When the focus then becomes there, when the attention and the awareness then becomes there, then what has to show up? More of that, right? Because the law, the way the universe works, doesn't care what you're putting into it, doesn't care what you're focusing your attention and your intention on. It's going to give you more of whatever your intention and attention is on. So why not let it be love? Why not let it be joy? Why not let it be peace? Why not let it be oneness and unity and harmony with each other? Why not? Feels like a far richer way to live, doesn't it? Much richer. Because then you're dripping in joy, you're dripping in love, you're dripping in peace. And Spirit is always providing. Spirit is maintaining and sustaining you. If you don't think so, try holding your breath. Eventually, you're going to have to let the breath out. And guess what? When you let the breath out, you are trusting and knowing that there is a law of abundance. There is this law of Spirit that is maintaining and sustaining you because you don't worry about letting it out and thinking, oh no, there's not going to be enough air. I better hold it in. You let it out. You trust. You're trusting that Spirit is going to breathe you and with your next breath. You're not having to let me pray, let me try and figure this out, right? Spirit is maintaining and sustaining you. Spirit is breathing you. Your breath demonstrates this, right? The very breath you breathe is a demonstration of this. So it is your awareness. It is your awareness, it is your intention, it is your attention that we use then to co-create as we're swimming in this infinite ocean that we're being maintained and sustained. If we keep our eyes open and we stay awake and we stay aware to what is available to us, that the water is always there for a fish, right? The air is always here for us. Spirit is always here for us. When we stay awake and paying attention to that, more and more Spirit, more and more connection happens, more and more shows up. Because we're aware of our oneness, we are bringing ourselves into alignment with our oneness of who we are and who each one is. So on your way in this morning, Frank should have given you, or you should have, you probably received, you likely received a piece of paper here, and here comes Frank, in case you didn't. It says, a record of my unexpected good. So if you need one, there's Frank. So on this unexpected good sheet, so what we're going to do for this month, we're going to, because our life is a laboratory, right? We are playing, we are exploring, we are expressing, we are testing these principles and these ideas out. So what we're going to do for the entire month is, what I invite you to do is I invite you to stay open and look for and be aware of not only yellow cars, kidding, but stay open to your unexpected good, your unexpected income. And what I mean by unexpected good, unexpected income, is not your salary, not your normal commission checks or your Social Security or anything that you know to expect this particular income every month. But what I invite you to do is stay open to the unexpected. So unexpected income might look like, that guy that you loaned that $10 to 5 years ago? He gives it back to you. All right, well, that was unexpected because you kissed that $10 long time ago, right? Or $100 or $10,000, whatever the amount was, right? That's unexpected because, oh, wow, all right, it showed back up, right? So that would be unexpected. Or Matt decides to take you out for lunch after service, right? And he decides to pay for lunch for you. That's unexpected income because Matt is treating you to lunch, right? So that would be unexpected income. So write down, Matt bought me lunch, and then how much lunch was. Or, Mike paid me back the $10, and write that down, whatever. If you clip coupons or you get a rebate, like you go to Lowe's and you decide you want to buy a new washer and dryer and it comes with a rebate, $50 rebate, okay, perfect. That's unexpected income because you weren't expecting that rebate, right? So you're looking for unexpected income, found money on the ground, right? Or if you go through your house and you're pulling out all the change from your pockets, or you're clearing your bookshelves and it's like, there's a wad of cash stuck in there. That's unexpected income, right? Something that you're surprised to see coming into your life. Be looking for that and write it down, and then just keep a tally of it. So the paper that you have is deliberately cut or deliberately sized so that if you wanted to cut it and keep it in your wallet, like a credit card size, you can keep it in your wallet. Or you could fold it and do it that way, however you want to do it. But what I want to do is I want to come back at the very first week of November, and I want to see, it'll be curious to see, I'm very curious to see how prosperous and how abundance has shown up in our entire community doing this for 1 month. Does that sound like a good idea? Sound like a plan? Because I tell you, when you start focusing on the unexpected income, you begin to see that, wow, income comes from all kinds of places. This thing called money, this energy called money, comes from all kinds of places. And believe it or not, money, finances, was actually one of the easiest things to demonstrate our principles of this faith and philosophy, of the creative process. It's actually one of the easiest. Think of expansion this way. Expansion and abundance and potentiality. So 1 kernel of corn produces 1 corn stalk, and each corn stalk produces 2 ears of corn. Okay? 1 ear of corn has roughly 800 kernels on it. So each corn plant could feasibly produce 1,600 corn plants, right? And each of those 1,600 corn plants can also produce 1,600 kernels. So if you plant 1 kernel, just go down to the 2nd generation, you have 2,560,000 kernels of corn out of one kernel. And then if you plant that 2,560,000 kernels of corn, so 3 generations from the first seed you planted, in only 3 generations, you have 4,096,000,000 kernels of corn. Think of that expansion. So just 1 little seed planted into the soil can produce, in only 3 generations, over 4 billion kernels of corn. Think of how many people that feeds, how many animals that feeds. So if you think of yourself with one idea, this idea perhaps of focusing our attention on expansion, focusing our attention on unexpected good, this one idea, think of how this one idea could, in 2 or 3 generations of the idea, expand, and affect not only you, your family, your community, and even the world. It's by one single idea. We're co-creating together, beloveds. We're doing this work together. Isn't it exciting? Yes. Do you feel abundant? Yes. Do you feel prosperous? Yes. Do you feel rich beyond measure? Yes. Good. When we're looking at abundance, what we're really seeing is we're seeing inner peace. When we experience abundance, we're really experiencing inner peace. And when we are looking at prosperity, what we're really seeking is the freedom that prosperity brings. So when we look at abundance and prosperity, what we are actually looking at is we're looking at our freedom, we are looking at inner peace, and we're looking at love and sharing it with one another. Living glorious, magnificent, prosperous lives, maintained and sustained by the one life itself. So this is your work for the month. We'll have other tools for the week as the weeks unfold, but I invite you to look at and work with your unexpected good, your unexpected income. And then we'll come back in November and we will share the opulence of this community. All right, so I invite our practitioners to please stand and surround the sanctuary and our ministers to join them as well. And these beloveds are in service to this community every single day, and there is prayer available in the prayer room, as Allison mentioned, immediately following service, in the prayer room outside the sanctuary doors there and just to the right. All right, so I invite you, if you are comfortable, to go ahead and close your eyes and let's join me in consciousness. Here we go. Breathing in and breathing out, recognizing the infinite, eternal, the breath of God, the breath of spirit, the breath of life, the breath of the divine that breathes me, that breathes each one of us, that maintains and sustains us, that withholds absolutely nothing, because in the beginning was spirit, was life, was the Word, and the Word was with spirit, and the Word was spirit. Therefore, that which spirit did not create was never ever created. There is only the one power, the one presence, the one life, the one love, the one infinite, eternal love, intelligence, forever and ever expanding, forever and ever giving of itself, withholding absolutely nothing. It is generous, it is harmony, it is peace, it is poise, it is a peace that passes all understanding. It is love, it is abundance, it is prosperity, because from itself it created and it continues to create, forever and ever expanding, expressing itself beautifully in harmony and joy and in divine right order. And I know that I am the microcosm of this macrocosm, that I am one with this one, that I am inseparable from it, that it is inseparable from me, that I live, move, breathe, and have my being in it, just as the way a fish does in the ocean, that I live, move, breathe, and have my being in it, and it in, through, and as me as well. For I am one with this love intelligence. I am one with this abundance. I am one with this power and this presence. I am inseparable from it. And as I know that this is true of me, I know that this is true of all of life, of all of creation, of each one gathered here this day. Each one is a divine individualization, a divine manifestation, impartation of this one life, forever expressing, forever expanding, forever giving of itself, forever sharing its love, its prosperity, its abundance, its joy, expressing as each one. And so I speak my word here and now for this beloved community, recognizing that we are rich beyond measure, that we are dripping in joy, that we're dripping in peace, that we're dripping in love, that we have absolutely everything that we could possibly need because it was given in the beginning. There is nothing withholding it. There is nothing preventing us from having it. There is nothing keeping us from our good, because good is our divine right. It is our divine birthright. And so we claim it here and now. The good, however we measure it, the good of love, the good of peace, the good of joy, the good of abundance. However we choose to define it, it is our birthright. And so we claim it here and now for each one and for all life, all creation, everywhere. That each one continues to express wholly, perfectly, and completely that each one lives abundantly, that each one lives in joy and harmony and peace, that each one lives in creativity and glorious expression of life itself. How grateful I am to know this. How grateful I am to speak this word now. How grateful I am for the beautiful, diverse, unified expression of life itself. How grateful I am to receive and how grateful I am to give. For I am merely the transparency of the divine. And this is true of all. Here to be the power and the presence of love, the power and the presence of peace, the power and presence of abundance. And so I simply give thanks for it all. I say yes, yes, yes. And I release this word, letting it be so. And so it is.
Love